Hello, model customizers. This is just an array of garbage here, right? But we're gonna try to figure something out today. Not too long ago, I reviewed these hole makers. These are by Alexen model, and there's flat holes and also chamfered holes. And if you saw in my video of that, I was using one of these things. This is just a hobby knife thing, and I put one of them into the end like this. Sorry, losing focus. And then I literally hand spun it to make a hole, and that's very time consuming. In particular, this one digs into your hand, so I later took one and rounded it off. But oddly, I don't know where that thing is right now, so this is a brand new one. Alright, so I realized, well, if you're totally new to model making, this is why. You can buy these photo etched pieces of metal that look like vents or propellers or intakes or whatnot, right? This is I don't know what brand that is, but whatever. Here we go. So I did that one, and I added that to this notching model kit. I also put one on the bottom, that kind of stuff, just to test it out. So you can do it by hand. It's just very time consuming, and making a model in itself is time consuming. So anything you do to speed it up, I think for me is more enjoyable. Alright, let's put this away for now. So I quickly realized that you can actually jam this diameter inside of a drill. Well, this DeWalt drill you see. So if you are curious, this handle here is around 9 millimeters. So I just took this one and just cut it off, right? So again, it's meant for hobby knives, but you can put in the Alexen one here because it's the proper width. So here, tighten that. Now here's my DeWalt drill. Right? So now, I don't have a model kit to destroy, but here's a piece of plastic. Right, so you can, obviously with some time and patience. Oh, look at that. That actually bent. Yeah, I was a little not patient, and it actually bent the blade. So be careful of that. So that's the problem. The fact is, this thing is so heavy, you wouldn't want to sit there with your tiny model kit and have this giant DeWalt drill that can't even fit into the frame of my camera, right? So this isn't, it's not a good solution in my opinion. It's just ridiculous how heavy that is. Okay, so now the goal is to see if somehow we could maybe get it into one of these mini drills. This is the Dispay one, and this one is just some generic one I got off AliExpress. In fact, you can get both off AliExpress. I have no affiliation with AliExpress. I just find that they're the cheapest place to buy. Alright, so a few things to look at. So this also I bought from AliExpress. It's a little chuck adapter. Here's the problem, right? These little drills, how are you going to get this shaft inside of that? Right? It's not going to happen. If you open this up, you can see the internals here. So even this threaded thing here, it's never going to fit inside of a 3 millimeter hole that this thing and the Dispay has a 3 millimeter hole. Not going to work. So that's unfortunate. I mean, if you knew someone that has a lathe, you could mill this down to 3 millimeters and then your life would be very easy. But I don't have a lathe and I'm not going to buy one. So the problem also with this one is it needs to actually screw against this surface in order to tighten this clamp, right? So in fact, let's take this blade out because we're not going to use that. And I will use another, I'll pop in a different one of these things. Alright, so as it is, it can't tighten because it's not tightening against this white surface here. So the only way to tighten it is actually to spin this whole thing, and that's pushing this up against that clamp, right? So that's how this mechanism works as far as keeping this thing tight. But so with this thing, you could just cut it down, and again, maybe try this. Let's see. Oh, come on. Alright, so maybe it's not going to work with this. I think the specs said it was bigger than 9 millimeters, but maybe it's a lie. So unfortunately, this one is, I mean, it's totally open now, and I'm not going to fit this in here. Nope, not gonna happen. That is too bad. Well, we might still have a solution. So I'm gonna unscrew this, right? I just need something to screw up on this. So I went and bought these things, just some spacers. It says M5 by 8 by 15. So the thread is M5, metric 5. 8, I don't know what that is, and 15 is probably the length, because one is 10 and one is 15. So let me get this out of the bag. Alright, let's get the other one out of the bag as well. Maybe keep that label in case it works. I'll tell you guys again. So what I was theorizing is now screwing this thing into this spacer. Let's see if it works, if it's truly the same thread. It is. Alright, so now that's tight. Now let's see if this will fit into this drill chuck thing. Come on. So it will not. I think there are bigger ones of these, but it's... Oh, wait, look at that. Alright, so that is one way, but unfortunately, this is still going to have to go into your DeWalt drill, right? So, which again is really heavy. But this is more robust than having just this thing in a piece of plastic, which might cause vibrations. In fact, maybe we should test it out. As much as I don't want to carry this heavy device, we might as well try it. I think why maybe I bent the last one is because it was wobbling in the plastic. But this is all metal to metal contact now. And I'm going to set it to low speed instead of second speed. Alright. No, it still bent it. It's just too heavy. Yeah, it's too heavy. So, alright, that's not going to work for me. I wouldn't recommend this method here. Alright. Alright, let's see what these things are. So these are two different Callets. Let's see this one. This is for, I think, the front end of a Dremel. All this stuff is AliExpress. So there's two grub screws, and it has the tool to set the grub screw. Hold on, I should probably start this one in. Okay, yeah, you need both of them. Okay, so now it's not going to work with the Dispay because there's no threaded collet. But what about this one? No, it's the other way around. See, I was hoping this would go in here, but it will not. No. It would be nice if this was threaded. If this was threaded on the inside, that would work, but it's not. So unfortunately, I'm not sure why I bought this. I was thinking maybe this goes on to the shaft of the motor, but possibly on this one. Yes. Right. But no, it wouldn't matter because without getting this adapter in there, it's not gonna work. There's no way for me to clamp this down. No. Alright, so this was a waste of money. Not sure why I bought that one. Let's hope this isn't a waste of money. Alright, so same thing. Oh, you know what I was thinking maybe? Is actually fitting the tool right into this thing. So if we look at this tool, which is, by the way, let's see. It is 3.7, like 3.8 millimeters wide. This Alexen thing. So I think I was thinking if I could maybe just clamp it in this collet system here. The problem is, no, I don't think it's, well, oh, look at this, it might actually get through. I feel like now this hole is just a little bit too small. Or is it? Look at that. Hold on here. So that is clearly clamped in this instead of this other pen thing. Oh, this is another thing I bought as well. Now the problem is, how do I get this thing onto this motor? I see there's a bearing down there, but I don't see a grub screw down there. I was hoping this might have a grub screw and I could just replace this brass thing with this thing, and then it would be relatively small. But I see a bearing. This one. Let's take it apart. No, this is not the right size. I have to come back. So the tool I used to get that thing out is like 1.2 millimeters, a 1.2 millimeter hex. So that's what's holding this thing in place. So once you get that grub screw out, this whole thing will slide out. Okay, so there's a little battery, and then this clamshell of plastic. I can't recall. I think it's just a snap fit. Oh, this plastic ring. Yeah, so this plastic ring has to come off. It's what's holding the two together. Alright, so that's what I was thinking, is replacing this down here. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work because this thing is actually going through a ball bearing up here. That's too bad. Without that bearing, this whole thing, I think, will slide around. Yeah, even this other one, it's not going to help because it would have to be clamped way down here, and it's not going to get through the bearing. Alright, so far no luck. So this one I bought obviously is just a different, I wonder if it's the same thread. I think it is the same exact thread, so it's really no difference in usage. Maybe you could fit a wider blade, which might be like this. This blade might fit in there. This is an HD model set. Oh, it's really strange. I can't get this to go into an electric drill unless it's a giant drill, which just makes no sense. I was thinking this would be tolerable to hold. Oh wait. Duh, I gotta put the collet in here. I ordered this stuff a good 4 months ago, so I can't remember what I was thinking when I ordered this stuff. But I think the simple answer is, with this one, this would probably be why I bought this. Ah, no. So that collet is not going to fit this diameter. But maybe... Where's the one that came with this thing? This one. The question is, will this blade fit inside of this? Possibly. It fits in there, but will it fit through this hole? No, this hole. Well, it was the black one that came. So it's not going to fit through the... Oh, I stand correct again. Hold on. Let's just put this together. I'm going to hit the chuck. Alright, now well, it's pretty loose. Sadly it's bent, but Oh, look at this, look at this. It fit in there. So now I can tighten this chuck. Here's the issue. The blade is sticking out so much. That's probably why it bends. I guess you could trim down the tool itself. But anyways, let's try it now. So this is a slow speed setting. Oh man, it looks like it's wobbling. I can just tell. The tip of that is not straight. So that's a problem. It's not sitting in there perfectly straight. It's because the back end of this isn't flat. That's such a poor design. It's kind of silly. Why would they do that? If it was flat, it would, maybe the tip would be straight, right? But it's actually like flipping around in there. So getting that to be straight is going to be a challenge. That's a little better. That's a little better. I guess it's worth a try. Man. Unfortunately, it's spinning too fast. I pushed it in really slow, but look at it. The wobbliness of it, and just the heat of it, it melted this plastic. So it's too fast. Man. This is the low speed setting on this is 5,000 RPM. So really it wants to spin somewhere in the hundreds, I think, if you don't want it to melt the plastic. And or it needs to be centered properly. But to actually cut those ends off perfectly square, I think that's almost impossible. I don't know how you would do that, because this is stainless steel. It's really difficult to cut. Alright, well, we know this is too fast, 5,000 RPM, but there's one last hope, and that's my Tamiya drill. This thing is super slow. Like, I don't know what RPM it is. I guess you could look it up online. It just runs on AA batteries. I got some rechargeables in here. And unfortunately, I don't think this tool is going to fit through that hole. Let's see. No. Well, oh, no. So unfortunately, it's in stock form. The tool's not going to fit through this. But since I already bought these other two and I know the tool will fit through those, now the question is, will this? Yep, that thread's on. So you can see there. Now, oh, look at that. And it's actually not sticking out so much. So in theory, it shouldn't want to bend. This is a chuck, by the way, this button, so I can hand tighten that. Yeah. So obviously we started a hole. Let's continue on. Okay. Yeah, that works. It's clearly not as melted as the other one, because this is such a low RPM. I'm gonna just go on. Yeah, that's a super deep hole now, for at least for photo etch. Okay, well, that is the solution for Alexen model bits, because they're thin enough. So basically you're gonna have to look for this collet that was on AliExpress or eBay or whatnot. Essentially the photo looks like this, right? It has like a bullet head and it has 2 set screws, and it came with like 4 other collets. I wonder what the inside of that looks like. If I could just mount this. I guess it's not necessary because it's already there. So it definitely works. The Tamiya hand battery powered drill. Yeah, just rechargeable batteries. So yeah, very cool. Now the only problem is to make big holes like this. This is actually a 6mm hole, I think. It's no way gonna fit into that. Yeah, it's just not gonna fit. Might as well open this up. So let's take this largest one and just use the hand one that I bought and see how that works. Let's see if it fits this metal one. Yeah, it will. So I don't know, but I don't think that's centered, but yeah, gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way by hand. These big ones. It's definitely working. It's just very time-consuming. Yeah, you don't want to do that. So you really got to be careful by hand trying to do these. But at least the back end of this is flat versus this thinner one that just gouges into your palm. So you'd have to cut that off and round it off yourself. But so now if anyone knows of a way to use this really wide one, let's measure how wide this blade is. It's 5.7. Oh, it's 5.6, 5.7 as far as the width of these shanks go. How to get that into a slow speed drill, that is the question. Yeah, ideally if you could somehow have this thing threaded, then this thing could work. You know, you could actually pop in either one of these because the shaft is the same. The threaded shaft on the bottom of both of these is the same. But I'm not aware of anyone that makes some sort of adapter where you can put in this thing into this. So maybe that's someone with a CNC machine. That's an opportunity for you to basically machine an adapter in a collet that has a much wider hole, you know, so you could fit these wide blades through it, right? That would be ideal. Alright, well, at least we have some progress. You can use a Tamiya drill to use the Alexen hole makers. Okay, I'll see you in the next tool related video. So for the big tool, some potential here. You know, I chuck this in here, and then this fits into a regular hand drill. This is like a Black & Decker. It's really old, but it's slow. So let's see. Granted, this is so wobbly, it probably won't work, but alright, so here's the issue. It's you can just see it's wobbly, right? But the potential is there because it's spinning very slow. What I'm theorizing is if I can cut down this thread, cut down this, and then cut down this blue just so the threading butts up against this blue aluminum, that'll reduce a lot of the play. So I guess I'll be back. Well, I'm back and I can't get it to work. And the reason why is when you cut this thing off, if you don't cut it totally perpendicular, it's going to make the bit at the same angle as the cut that you made on this piece right here that I'm touching. So you can see I didn't cut this very straight because you'll see the blade wobble. And let's see, I'll just show you here on this piece of plastic. So that wobbling, you know, the bit's wandering around on a piece of plastic, so it's a problem. Let me show you a little more in depth here. So I cut off that aluminum thing and it's just clamping, right? So that's fine. The problem is in here. When I unscrew this, this thing is pushing. I put in a spacer, hold on. Alright. So what happens is this thing with the threads, it threads onto this, and as it threads, it's tightening up. Well, hold on, let me show you in here if I can. There's a ridge there. So you'll see the smaller hole where my finger is smaller than this outside that I'm touching now. So that little ridge is being pushed by this piece here, and because I didn't cut this perfectly straight, it looks pretty straight to me, but it's not. It's basically making that plate inside just as curved, and so when I tighten this, you know, you can see these moving up, but they're moving up at uneven distances, henceforth causing this thing to be a little bit offset. So basically I should have never cut this thing because it might have been straighter since it was manufactured, you know. And unless you have like a CNC machine, I don't know how you're going to cut that thing perfectly perpendicular to this shaft here. I just ordered another piece, and it came with this counter-threaded centerpiece, but you can remove this. It's not necessary. If you're curious, this thing is a 9.3. I guess it's supposed to be like a 10 millimeter thread. Alright, so that can go in. I suppose I could cut that down again, but for now I'm just going to show you the thing working. So now that surface is going to press up on the plate inside of here, moving these three teeth perfectly even, and so clamping this tube, this blue aluminum tube, evenly. See? So it's not really wobbling. So let's try it on this piece of plate. Well, I will say with this giant bit, maybe it could go faster. It's producing a nice edge, but it is ovoid. The tip is wandering. So sadly, unfortunately, the tip of this thing should be longer to keep it centered, but it is not. So you might want to avoid this one entirely, this particular width. So I'm realizing this, you can actually bend it like this and then bend it at an angle, and you don't need clippers. So the question is, what diameter can reliably be used with this hand drill? So this is a 3.8, it says. It is roughly 3.8, so give them credit there. So let's undo this thing, pop in this one. Hopefully that's centered. It's really loose. Now tighten it. Alright, let's see if 3.8 works. It's wobbling. Well, at least it's a circle, but it takes time. Sadly, I wish this drill was a little bit faster. You know, my DeWalt drill is too fast, but this thing might be a little too slow, but at least it's not wandering. Let me just do it on the table here, but You're not going to hold a model like this. Oh, look at that. So I've now ruined that tool. Well, you learn from my mistakes. Don't do that. It's too much weight. So you should really just hand hold the thing. Alright, well, I think 3.8 will work if you're really slow. Let's go down to 3. And that is almost 3. So I would say that these tools are pretty accurate, or close. Much better than the Alexen ones, which make no sense numerically with their markings. Alright, so no pushing down. It's just going to bend the tool. Yeah, the smaller you go, the better it is, but it kind of defeats the purpose of having large bits, right? I mean, I want to have a large hole so I can put a larger piece of photo etch in there. Alright, well, that's sort of inconclusive. It's just, I think this drill might be too slow. You gotta find something that's a little bit faster. What does this say here? I modified it. 180 minute? Maybe this does 180 revolutions per minute. So you might want something more like 300 revolutions per minute. Maybe 400 or 500. I don't know. The Tamiya drill is around 480, I think it was, or somewhere under 400 or 500. And you can see it's much faster. Yeah, so the Tamiya drill has the perfect speed. It's around 500 RPM, it seems. Unfortunately, you just can't fit these giant blades in there, right? So that's too bad. Okay, so we know this is questionable. That is. But I have these things I ordered. These are hex shanked chamfer bits. So let's see if these work. Granted, they're not going to create flat holes, so not much you can do about that. It seems to make a larger hole. But you're going to need a pilot hole. This is not pointed enough. I think it'll wander across the plastic. So let's create a pilot hole. The Tamiya drill here. It's got a small and a large collet. The small one holds, I think, to 1 to 2 millimeters. Oh, I even had holes already from something else. So let's take this out, and let's try this one here. If you're curious, this one is listed as a 9mm, I think. 9mm hex chamfer bit. Well, that works fantastic. You just got to stop it every now and then to decide how big that hole should be. Right. Now let's get some of these round bits. Maybe this one. Yeah, so that works. Luckily the photo etch piece is thin enough. I mean, you're going to have a little bit of a border around the metal, but I think it's going to have to do. At least it's not wandering, right? So maybe this is just the way to go. Maybe these things are a complete waste of money. That's what I'm starting to think now. Okay, well, that worked. So that was pretty cheap as well. Very cheap. It's cheap enough that if this ever dulls, you could just order a bunch of them. But it's titanium coated, and we're only drilling into plastic, so hopefully it'll last a long time. Now this one's a lot closer, so there's less wobbliness, but I don't think it matters so much. Now this one might be listed as a 12, maybe ½ inch. It could be listed as a ½ inch chamfer bit. So let's let's drill into this one. Oh yeah, that works just as well. Actually, I feel like the other one was sharper. I mean, this works, you can clearly see it working, but I feel like I have to press a lot harder. I'm pressing really hard on this one. Like, look at my fingers, how they're stressing out, and look how much progress I've made. So this one is not, it's just a lower grade bit. I mean, I think it costs like $1 or $2. So it seems like this one with the titanium coating might be a better finished product. They're probably made at the same factory. So again, just looking at how much stress I'm putting. I mean, if this is going to be a small model kit, your model kit's not going to be this thick, you know, the plastic. But I'm pressing into that really hard. Or you got to sit there and, you know, just drill a lot longer and less pressure but longer time. But this one again, this one just cuts more like it's butter. So let's try this. Yeah, I'm really barely pressing. Yeah, I do feel also, if you look at the smoothness of the actual surface, I'm not sure if you can pick up on it. You know what? Maybe they're the same. Yeah, I think it might have to do with more of the speed of the drill. It's unfortunate there isn't some sort of adapter to put a hex bit into a Tamiya drill. That would be nice if someone could make something like that. But, oh yeah, this is actually labeled 9, by the way. So this is a 9mm chamfer bit. And it's clearly better than this one. This one is not labeled. For some reason, this just isn't as sharp. Maybe I got a dud, I'm not sure. But it's not good. Alright, so that's a lot of experimentation. This, I'm going to say, is probably a waste of time and money. You saw me bend the bit itself with a little bit of pressure. You got to deal with ordering this. And the holder, and then cutting the holder. Yeah, so I don't know, it's just really long and wobbly, so I don't think this is good. I think if you want to do larger holes, just get this bit right here. If you want to do smaller holes, use a Tamiya drill and the Alexen bits. But this random set here, although it's accurate in the hole sizes, it's just not as practical. So go with this, I think. Unless you really, really need to have a truly flat surface, which I don't think I need if I can't get a big one. Well, thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something today. I know I did. And we'll see you in the next tool related video. Bye now.